Hi, I'm Richard Cooper, rider for Buildbase BMW here at Cadwell Park, and I'm about to take you for a lap in a Nissan GTR safety car. So we're on the run down the start-finish straight now, probably going to lead into the fastest corner on the track. You're in 5th gear just as you approach turn 1, back to 4th on the entry, and literally just squeeze the brakes for a small amount of time, let the bike tip in nicely. As the corner runs up the uphill, the bike will generally slow down anyway, clipping the apex nice and tight. But you've got to be careful not to run too wide on the exit here, because as you enter turn 2, you need to be as far to the left hand side as possible. Tip in the same gear, which is 4th gear, just lifting your knee up over the curb there as you enter this corner. Now you're picking the throttle up, driving to the edge of the track. You actually can't see where the white line is here, and as you get to the top of the crest of the hill, you back shift to 3rd. The track's quite bumpy, so you've got to be quite careful with the front end. Once you've got the front end and then the rear loads up, accelerate as hard as possible onto the park straight. 3rd gear, you take 4th gear quite early, drive down the hill. The bike will try and wheelie here because the nature of the track is dropping away from you. Just as you get to the bottom of the hill, up to 5th gear. Once you're in 5th gear, you're driving up the hill, you're now looking for your braking marker, which is just about at the freeboard on a good lap. So 5th gear here, 4th, back to 3rd. Just as you get to the last one board there, you go back to 2nd gear just to get the bike stopped. It's quite a slow corner and you've been on the brakes for quite a long time here. So once you get into mid corner, off the brakes, pick the throttle up, short shift to 3rd, using all the track and a little bit more into Chris curve. So 3rd gear, apex Chris curve, nice and early, and be careful not to use too much of the track on the way out, because the tarmac sort of changes. There's a bit of a groove in the track which unsettles the bike, so I try and stay quite tight here. So the bike will be in 3rd gear, just about on the limiter in 3rd gear, staying in the same gear for the gooseneck. Now it's major important to get the first part of the gooseneck right, so when you change direction to the left, the bike is settled, and you can then drive hard down into Mansfield. Mansfield is a really tricky bend because it sort of sucks you in at the same time. You go back to 2nd gear, but because you're going downhill, the speed is not scrubbing off as fast, so you tend to trail the brake quite a bit into Mansfield in 2nd gear, and the bike will drive really hard, staying in the same gear into one of the new chicanes, which has been added just a couple of years ago. Back shift to 1st. It's important as you back shift to 1st to get as much work done on the right. So as you exit this left here, short shift to 3rd, the bike will really try and wheelie quite a bit. So for me, I get on the back brake quite a bit to try and control that wheelie. And then we're into the notorious mountain section, which is the most difficult part of the track. Staying in 2nd gear, the bike will generally bottom out as you come through here. The whole bike will be scraping on the floor. Important to stick to the left and get a good drive up the mountain, staying in 2nd gear. For myself, I take it quite steady with the mountain. I try not to jump too much, so I'm in control all the time. The bike will just about rev out from the top of the mountain into all bends, so you're still in 2nd gear here. Really try and take as much curb as possible on the entry to all bends, so that when you flick left, you can then get the bike settled and drive quite hard, heading towards the hairpin, which actually is blind, but you sort of head for the crest of the hill. Be careful, the track comes up onto you on the left hand side, where you're back shifting to 1st gear now, which is the slowest part of the track, but also one of the most crucial parts, which it leads into the last corner. For myself, this is one of the most trickiest corners on the track, because the track drops away, and at the same time you want to get into the corner, you have to be a bit cautious with the grip that you've got. And again, the exit's blind, and you literally just you open the throttle as hard as possible. The bike is trying to wheelie, you take 3rd, 4th, and just as we cross the start finish line, we'll back up to 5th and into turn 1.